Mike Moore Media.
Hello, and welcome to our monthly program with Seth M. Woodall and Associates. And Seth is in our studios here today. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Always good to have this time together. And we're talking about several things today, but you covered real estate very well last month. So we wanted to talk about something else today, another topic, and then a couple of things we have to mention at the end of the program. But today we're getting into something that we're all concerned about from time to time, and that is traffic ticket questions that we may have, because you do a lot of that.
We do. We handle a tremendous amount of traffic tickets through Rockingham County.
Okay. So kind of give us an overview. Is there something we need to know right up front before we get into some specific questions?
Well, you know, there's a significant number of traffic tickets issued in Rockingham County. We've got municipalities ranging from Eden Police Department, Mayodan Police Department, Madison Police Department, Stoneville, Reidsville. Then you have the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department and the State Highway Patrol's office. So there's a lot of officers out there protecting the roads, and a lot of traffic tickets are issued. So it's probably one of the, or certainly the most common charge in North Carolina would be a traffic ticket.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm not going to put you on the spot, but yes, I have had a traffic ticket from time to time. We're all guilty of that, perhaps. Well, maybe not ever. My wife's never had a traffic, never been stopped for anything.
Well, she's doing pretty good.
I think she's doing well. Yeah, I should be a better example. Can a speeding ticket be reduced? Let's ask that right up front.
It can. So it depends on how fast you're going, first of all. Mm-hmm. But just a standard run-of-the-mill speeding ticket of 10 or 15 miles an hour over typically can be reduced. Okay. A number of factors go into that, whether or not you have to take a safe driving class or if your record is good enough. But typically a speeding ticket, if your record is otherwise fairly clean over the last couple of years, should be able to be reduced to a non-moving violation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know it seemed like in my case, one time we had improper equipment. What does that involve? What does that mean exactly?
So an improper equipment is a reduction of the speeding charge to a non-moving violation. Mm-hmm. So the improper equipment carries no points, no driver's license or insurance points, is non-moving, and just assesses court cost.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, you mentioned a little bit ago if you're going... is there? I've talked to several people in law enforcement, police, highway patrol. Is there you say that the speed limit's 55. What can I do legally?
55.
Okay. All right. Okay. I expected that answer, I guess. But if you're going how much over before you're really in trouble? Can you go 5 miles, 6, 7?
Well, they can issue and cite you for speeding for any miles an hour over. Now, typically, our local law enforcement officers are really good at what they do, and most of them are going to have some professional courtesy there and give you a few miles an hour over, but it doesn't mean that they have to. So the posted speed limit is set by the legislature and by local municipalities, and kind of is what it is, so you're supposed to follow that. But we have a pretty good group of officers in Rockingham County that try to help you when they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So good to stay right at the limit would be the wisest thing to do when you're on the road.
That's the best legal advice I have today.
Yeah, I understand. I think that's excellent. Okay. All righty. I've heard of prayer for judgment. What is that?
So a prayer for judgment is something that's offered in North Carolina where you're accepting responsibility for the infraction, but no judgment is entered against you. So it's not going to have any resulting insurance or driver's license points normally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you receive a prayer for judgment then on a speeding ticket?
If as long as the speed is less than 25 miles an hour over the posted speed limit, a judge has to give the prayer for judgment to you. So it's discretionary. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it, but it is allowed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you're speeding over 25 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, it's not allowed.
Okay. What about a prayer for judgment on DWI charges?
It's not allowed. So by statute, you're prohibited from receiving a prayer for judgment on a driving while impaired charge.
Yeah. I do the police reports and things like that around the county, and I had someone tell me recently, it seems like we have a lot of DWI offenders in Rockingham County. It seems like, do we have more than usual? Because they're on all those police reports every week.
I don't know how we compare to other counties. I only represent folks here in Rockingham County. But we do have a large number of driving while impaired charges cited each month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to prayer for judgment. How does that affect a commercial driver's license?
If someone has a CDL or a commercial driver's license, a prayer for judgment is not recognized by DMV. So if you have a commercial driver's license, even if that's not your primary source of income, you need to make sure to let any attorney know that's trying to help you, or let the district attorney's office know if you're trying to resolve the case yourself that you are a CDL license holder, so that you don't run afoul of the rules with DMV.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we have a school here in Eden. A lot of people getting their commercial driver's license, aren't they?
They are, and I'm familiar with that school. I'm familiar with the owners of that school, and they do a good job.
Yeah, they really do. Okay. All right. I see this every now and then too on my court news. You're scheduled for court and you don't show up. What happens then?
Well, it happens a lot, really.
Yes.
If it's a traffic ticket, normally the policy in Rockingham County is that you can go to the clerk's office or hire an attorney, and you can get that reset to another date. If you're representing yourself, you go to the courthouse and you sign the document saying that you've missed court, you understand that you missed court, and that it's going to be reset without any real punishment to another date. If you miss court and you don't get it taken care of within, I think it's 40 days from your court date, it is sent into DMV, and DMV will send a letter saying that your license will be suspended for failure to appear effective this date. And if you don't get it straightened out before then, you will lose your license.
Yeah, okay. Court date today. You're in court today.
I am.
Yeah, okay. When you get to court and all this stuff on the docket, and you have people that don't show up, that just probably botches up the whole schedule, doesn't it?
It doesn't help things as far as moving cases along, but there are a significant number of people, defendants, who don't show up to court.
Really?
Probably more than you'd think.
Yeah, okay. All righty, let's talk about texting and driving.
So texting and driving is illegal in North Carolina. However, it doesn't carry any insurance or driver's license points. There is a $100 fine plus court costs, which is typically around $200. So it's going to cost you around $300, but doesn't carry any points.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to talk about passing a stopped school bus.
Yes, sir.
I actually chased someone down about a year ago out on 135, and I was just so mad because they did this
right
there in front of Tuttle's. And I actually went to their business and called police from there because I thought I will be a good citizen here. I don't know what became of that, but tell us about some of the infractions and what's the law. We know the law, but that's a serious offense.
It is. So it's a misdemeanor offense. It carries, I think, 4 points, and it will be detrimental to your insurance and driver's license. And it's absolutely probably one of the most dangerous things that can be done around a school bus. So they take it very serious at our district attorney's office here, and you don't want to get caught passing a stopped school bus.
Yeah. Talking about taking things seriously with our DA's office, we've got a good office, haven't we?
We do. Jason Ramey has done a phenomenal job in that office. His assistant district attorneys who handle all of the matters that they do have just done a tremendous job for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we appreciate that office for sure.
Certainly one of the fairest and most well-operated offices, in my opinion, in the state.
And I say you've probably seen some of those other operations, and leaves some to be desired, maybe.
Well, throughout my career, I've been to numerous counties to try cases, and I don't go out of the county any longer, but I've been all over, and I can tell you our clerk's office and our district attorney's office has to be the most approachable and easiest to deal with offices in the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thanks again to Jason Ramey. Thanks to Albert Bullins in that position.
Yeah, he took over back in November after Mark Pegram retired at the clerk's office, and he's implementing some changes, I think some good changes, and things are running good.
Good. Okay. All righty. Let's talk about you pulled over. How important is it to the way you address the officer when he comes up to your car?
I can't reiterate enough. Being polite and cooperative is the number one key to trying to resolve a case favorably when you go to court. Those officers will issue a ticket, and your ticket will not have any notes or writing on it, but the ticket that goes to the clerk's office will have notations on it as to whether or not you were polite and cooperative,
really?
What you said. Mm-hmm. And so the district attorney and judges are, they're going to see that. So if you're not cooperative or you're combative in any manner, it's going to be listed on that ticket. And I can tell you it makes our job harder as attorneys trying to get tickets reduced when someone is not cooperative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, we see those stories nationally, and a situation turns bad quickly.
It does, and it can happen so easily. And I tell clients regularly, if you feel like you're being wronged by the police, if you feel like the stop is not justified or it's not legal, do the best that you can to cooperate under the circumstances. You're not gonna get over or fight them on the side of the road and win. Mm-hmm. Let us as attorneys try to resolve the case at a later date if something has been handled improperly by law enforcement. I'll tell you, our law enforcement around here does a pretty good job.
It's just some common sense involved right up front, isn't it?
It really is, and if you try to argue, it's just going to get worse for you. Be as cooperative as you can. You don't have to say anything. If you just don't want to speak, don't speak, except for the questions that you have to answer, and let us take care of it on the back end.
No confrontation, please.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're stopped, and you don't have your driver's license with you, or whatever, your registration. What's involved there?
Well, it depends what you're stopped for, but if you have an expired registration, you're stopped and don't have a driver's license, if you're cooperative, give the officer your information. Normally they're going to cite you for the registration or maybe just give you a warning ticket, and it's really something that can be easily resolved if it's that simple and you do get a registration ticket or no insurance ticket. If you come into compliance and get the registration taken care of or insurance taken care of, the case is going to be dismissed, so there's no need to argue with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I've gotten a speeding ticket. Do I need to come see you? Do I need to see an attorney?
Well, my advice is to seek an attorney, but you can certainly represent yourself if you choose to do that. I think having an attorney will help to navigate the court process way more efficiently. And, if you work, you don't have to go to court for most infractions. You're never going to have to show up, and the attorney can handle it by waiver, and you never have to see the inside of a courtroom.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. All righty, well, that's some of the basics we certainly wanted to cover. Is there anything else we need to mention, Seth?
Well, I just would again reiterate, if you are stopped, be as cooperative as you can with law enforcement and let us do our job on the back end. And if you have any questions regarding traffic tickets, we have offices in Eden and Madison, and certainly willing to help anybody that comes to see us.
Okay, very good. Thank you for being there for us. And you're coming up on an anniversary. You've had, when did you form Seth and Woodall and Associates in Eden?
So I formed Seth and Woodall and Associates in July of 2019 when Marty Melvin and Jimmy Walker, Marty retired, full-time retired, and Jimmy has stayed on part-time working. Mm-hmm. But the office transferred over to my office in July of 2019. Prior to that, I had been partners with Marty and Jimmy from 2009 to 19.
You were there a good while.
I started in 2006, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm, yeah. But the anniversary coming up May 1, when you assumed the operation there of the practice that had been in Madison for many years.
That's right. In May of last year, we took over operation of Ben Tucker's office right there on Murphy Street, mm-hmm. and I have two attorneys working over there.
That's a 40-year history in that office.
Yeah. I said last time that I needed to look back and see how long Ben had practiced, but it's been at least 40 years.
Yeah, okay. All right, but you're mainly in the Eden office. I
was in Madison one time last week, so I try to make appearances there, but most of my time spent in Eden.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, before we finish up with our legal program here today, thank you for that. Again, good information, Seth. We have an event coming up at L&L Arena in Eden this Saturday.
We do. So there's a barrel horse race on Saturday, the 22nd, off Rob Tom Road. It's at the end of Rob Tom Road. I think it's 641 Rob Tom Road in Eden. And so that's our first race of the season.
Yeah, okay. Well, it looks like that's going to be a good one to start with.
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, and I'm mentioning that because that's your place.
We do own that, yes, sir. We opened that last year and rent that to the National Barrel Horse Association, and they operate the sanctioned races there, and this week is our first race for the season.
Okay, I want to try to get out to that one and see what's going on.
I hope to see you there.
Okay, how do we get in contact with you?
If you need anything from a legal perspective, you can contact the office at 336-623-3138 and make an appointment. We receive a significant number of calls each day, and it's very difficult to return all of the calls. So making an appointment, if it's not an emergency, is surely the easiest way to get in front of us and for us to be able to properly handle whatever your need is.
Okay. Thank you, Seth. Good to have you here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.